welcome. You have arrived in the right spot. It is better than before with the baddest BBW. Special guest tonight, K Sweetness and Top Badge Blazing. It's each and every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're wondering what is better than before, anything that made you come out better than before, whether it was a tragedy, whether it was a mistake, whether it was something good, anything that made you come out better than before, okay? This is the platform for you. So you can hear stories from streamers. We'll also talk about social media stories, news stories, books, films, anything that made someone better than before. Now, you never know, your story can inspire somebody. Somebody could have came on here with no hope about anything, just gave up on everything, and then you start telling your story, or you hear an inspiring story, and it might just change their life. So we all have a story to tell. So we're going to inspire somebody, and we're going to tell them how we became better than before. So my first guest, we would like to welcome K Sweetness. K Sweetness, can you request the box, please? And while we're waiting, okay. While we're waiting on her to come on in and request the box, if you have any unique stories or content that you would like for me to discuss on my show, be more than welcome to inbox me here, or you can find me on Instagram. My Instagram is the same name. It's the baddest BBW _ tagged. Also, if you look in the comments right here, I do have an assistant. If you can also contact her on Instagram _ KY mommy MOMMY _ on IG, and she'll be happy to set up and schedule you for the show. Okay. All right. So now we have our first guest in the box. It is K Sweetness. We're just waiting on the box to open up for K Sweetness. Welcome. If you have not already faved me, make sure you hit me with the fave so you can catch me each and every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Better than before with the baddest. I appreciate that. Go ahead and try that again, K Sweetness. For some reason, it didn't let you in the box. And for those who are just now joining, if you're wondering what is better than before, is anything that made you come out better than you were before. Just 1 second here. All right, look at you. Hello, beautiful. Hi,
Kay. Hey, what's up? I'm nervous.
Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. This is K Sweetness. She is a very known streamer. She contests and great content. So can you tell us a little bit about you, K Sweetness? How long have you been on the app? Why do you stream? And what are your streaming goals?
Okay, so everybody big up on yourself. I'm K Sweetness, straight out of Jamaica. Straight, I represent for my flag of God. 1 second.
It's okay. We understand. We all have those issues. While we are waiting on her to come back, so if you're wondering what's better than before, basically, let's go into the theme and the quote. So the theme for the show is the world is changed by your example. I want you guys to take a second to think about that. The world is changed by your example. So everything that we do is an example that we are putting out into the world. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, is an example. And people tend to follow what they see. So the world is changed by your example. Okay, again, welcome our special guest, K Sweetness. She is a live streamer from Jamaica. How long have you been on the app, Kay?
Okay, so I've been on the app for 13 years, going on 14.
Wow.
14 years. I started streaming last year. August, so I just celebrated my 1 year anniversary in streaming.
Wow, congratulations.
What was the other question to it? I'm sorry, guys. I have a toddler.
No, that's fine. Why do you stream?
All right, so I've been on here for a long time. I've been in the inbox. I talk to people on the phone. I do the works like the regular people outside of streaming. So I'm like a people person type of person, goofy, funny, and everything. So my friends always say, why don't you? Because I always go live on Facebook and Instagram. So my friends say, why don't you go live on Tag? So I was like, nah. But then I started to stream and I started to like it in terms of I like getting to know different people because I use it to network. I used to use it to get like people to my business and those type of stuff. But then I started to like it and I got to know a lot of great people from it. So I think that's what happened. I started enjoying streaming. So and it's
Okay.
I do it for I mean it's a hustle, but I love my people. So you know what I'm saying? I love my people. So that's
So, what is your ultimate goal as a streamer on here?
I mean, you see me, you know I'm a grinder. I mean, I say grinding on here. I'm always coming up with different content to make my stream worthwhile. I'm a featured host, which was a goal here, and it's a big privilege to be a featured host on this app to know that you're seen by a lot of people. But we grinding on here, so I think Tag should recognize the grinders and give us top badge because we working. Yeah, but yeah, just like
Yes,
BBW,
definitely.
we stay grinding. Tag. Yeah.
Yes,
We just
yes. Well, I
yeah.
think we're both in the making for that. So, what I usually do is before we get into people telling their stories and how they came out better than before, I usually do a little ice breaking questions, kind of, see if we can find out the personality of our guest. So, what is your biggest pet peeve, Kay?
When you say pet peeve, break it up.
Pet peeve,
What you
like
mean?
what really gets under your skin?
I'm easily irritated. I don't like fake people. I don't like people show shades around me. Like, if you're gonna be real with me, just be real with me. Cause I stay watching people, even when you think that I'm not watching you. Because I've been betrayed by a lot of people that I trusted a lot. So because of that, I stay watching people and stay observing. So I don't like when people be fake around me. Because if you be fake around me and then I start acting different, you're not gonna like it. So I just don't like people being fake.
Okay, let's see. Would you rather only have summer or winter for the rest of your life?
I live in the summer, so I want to experience some winter.
Okay,
I
so
want
you've
to see
never
winter.
experienced winter at all.
Mm-mm, mm-mm,
No
mm-mm.
snow, no none of
Mm-mm,
that.
mm-mm.
Yeah,
I
I
want to
think you
see
would want to
winter.
stay where you at. I think you want to stay over there. Um, this is my favorite question. I asked somebody this last week, and I think I'm gonna ask this every week. If you were in a zombie apocalypse and you're killing zombies, and you have your headphone on, what is the songs that you're gonna listen to while you're killing zombies?
Kill them hard and done. Vice cartel. Yeah.
It's definitely gonna give you motivation, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, and if you guys are just joining in, it's Better Than Before with the Baddest each and every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we meet with our streamers, kind of get to know them better, and hear their inspiring stories of how they came better than they were before. So, Kay Sweetness, can you tell us a little bit about your story?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a big book. My story is so deep, guys. I come from. I grew up rough, where I went through a lot as a child, being exposed to a lot of things. When you talk about sexuality, mentality, and physical abuse, physical, verbal, sexual, at a very early age. So to know that I'm here right now where I'm at is a big thing for me because how I was raised, you wouldn't even believe. Because I used to say that maybe I would have become a prostitute or something like that because of what I've been exposed to. as a child coming up. So I didn't know that I would be such a person that I influence others to want to be great. I didn't think that I would be this person because of what I've gone through in life. So to see where I'm at right now, like it's just by the grace of God, because I'm a person that I keep praying. I'm a praying person, and I keep praying. I always be praying. So to know that I've been exposed to those things like as early as 8, because my mom had me as early as 15, so she didn't really have guidance like that and those type of stuff. So I went through a lot with in terms of she didn't have a strong family background either. So it was hard for her, and then it was hard for me. So I went through a lot of stuff, but because I kept praying and I was
Mhm.
determined to be better or to be good or to be something. That's what kept me, and that's why I'm here today as a mother of three and still trying to stay grounded. I'm not perfect, but I try to be better than I was before.
And that's very inspiring. Actually, I had a guest last week that kind of touched on the same thing, about being, unfortunately, they were raped as a child, and became pregnant, and then lost the child like later on in life. So it's also like a double whammy. But they still found the strength to still keep pushing, because there's a lot of things that people endure that we somebody might say I just can't handle it, and then somebody else might be like I'm gonna push through, and I'm just gonna keep on going where I gotta go. You know what I'm saying? And with my own story, I find a lot of people say that I encourage them, I've given them strength. They'll look at some of the things they go through and see what I went through, and then they're like, this isn't nothing, I can push through this. you
Hmm.
know and I didn't know I inspired people of that, that nature. My struggle wasn't to inspire. It's just to get through it, because this is life. I'm still here, so I gotta go through it. Um, what avenues, like what was, since you're in Jamaica, you're in a different country.
Hmm.
Um, our help and our advocacy here may be a little different than it is for yours. So is there like any programs, or is there anything you people you could go talk to? How's it dealt with over there?
Listen, it's the grace of God. And if you don't For those who don't know, it's not easy to be a Jamaican and living in Jamaica. If you don't have a strong family background holding you up, because back in the day when I was going through those stuff, I used to tell people that I'm being molested. I used to say I'm being molested. I used to say I'm being touched. I used to say those stuff, but I was ignored. I was ignored by the same people that was supposed to be protecting me. So in Jamaica, if you don't have strong, it's not like in America where if you touch the kids, you go to prison. It's not really that case here. If you don't have strong family bracing you and telling you that you got this and not to worry, they tell you to shut up and don't talk about it. They'll ignore you and say you're lying. That's why I am so protective of my children. I stay grinding around my children because I know where I'm coming from with that.
Hmm.
So I'm very protective. I don't trust people because it's the same people that you trust the most that hurt your kids in Jamaica. I don't know if it's like that anywhere else, but growing up, the people that molested me were people that I that my people trusted the most. So that's why as a parent, I like the whole fact that my kids are in my eyes daily, unless they're at school, because I don't trust people.
And that is true. Those people take advantage of that situation, advantage of the trust that the family, or you've known them your whole life. They take advantage of that and use that to manipulate and to do things that they're not supposed to the innocent children. So I definitely understand that. I will like give you kudos, because what happened to you too often, people take the route And because they were exposed to sex at a young age, they become sexually mature before they're supposed to be. So then they start
I
acting
mean,
out because they think they're supposed to do those things and they don't know any different because they're a child,
I
you
was
know?
there. I was there. I was there because I was mature in that area. Because I said, as I said, I was exposed at the earliest date. So I was mature in that area, but I wanted better. I had a mother that, even though she was not firmly within my life at the time, she wanted better for me and for her. So she always pushes me. She always pushes me to be better. And because I believe in God to the fullest, because I was a Christian, I went to church every day. I grew up in the church. So I think that's what kept me. That's what kept me from going overboard, because through that, I learned that you don't have to, whatever you go through in life, don't determine what you
Hmm.
become. And that's
That's
my
correct.
motto, where don't let your past determine who you become in the future, because you could go through the worst. Just see it as a stepping stone to be better. Because the some of the shit that I've been through, I used to say I wouldn't be like this right now, honestly.
Yeah, I just commend you, period, because first of all, for you even telling the story, I appreciate that. And if you guys are just joining in, it's better than before with the baddest, where I talk to streamers and we show our human side. We all stream, okay? We all stream. Some of us have a streaming persona. We become this person when we're online. But when we log off, we are real people that have real problems, real things that go on in life, and we have a real life, beyond this. So this show is to make sure people know that, hey, I can be better than before in whatever aspect in life. And I'm not the only one that has a story. I'm not the only one feeling like this or felt like this before. I am human. You know what I'm saying? And that's my whole point of having this show, is to show the human side. Because we show the streaming side, we can be whoever we want to be. But when we cut it off, that's when you have to face the
Hmm.
real life and the things that's going on. And I
Hmm.
definitely appreciate you for joining us today, K Sweetness. So can you tell us a little bit about what you got going on in your stream? When do you stream, and what we need to look for that's coming out soon?
Repeat. I think I was getting a call, so it was cutting out the sound.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about your stream, what we need to look for, any contests or shows or anything that you have, and when you do stream?
All right. As you guys know, I'm K Sweetness. There's a lot of Jamaicans on here, but I fly the Jamaican flag high, very high. I'm a proud featured host with Yard and Abroad with K Sweetness, where we talk about the Jamaican culture, the Jamaican language, but we're also linked with different people. It don't matter, as long as you're from a different culture from where I'm from. We invite you to come and share where your come from is. You know what I mean? In terms of, we want to learn about your culture, your neighborhood, your background, what it's like, what things like, because people are traveling and people are moving to different areas. So that's about my show. Otherwise from that, I do auctions every month. And I have a new show called what's called it, burning issue, where we talk about issues like burning things, like we come up with intensive topic to talk about. So it don't matter the topic, once it can be talked about, we have a roundtable talk on Sundays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So my live is on, I'm always live otherwise from that, but those 2 days, Sundays and Fridays, yeah, that's my different days. I'm different
Well,
on
you
weekends.
guys, you need to make sure y'all fave K Sweetness. I personally was in her auction, and I had a ball. She has a great personality. I see her all over the app. You guys need to come and check her out. Come and check out her future show. Come out and check out anything that she has. She has positive vibes, and she's absolutely a nice person to be around. I appreciate you so much for coming in and telling your story, being blatantly honest about who K Sweetness is. I thank you so much. And I'm going to go ahead and drop you out the box so I can get my next guest. But I so much appreciate you for coming. Thank you.
But I thank you. I thank you very much for having me. Let me commend you on this show. People need this show. So we Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you, Kay.
All right.
And if you guys are just now coming in, this is better than before with the baddest. If you're not sure what that is has anything ever changed you? Have you had a bad day that turned into an opportunity? Made you do something different? You had to move abruptly. You had to quit your job. You know what I'm saying? You lost everything, and now you have everything. This is a platform for you. So basically, you get to meet streamers that you may or may not know. They tell their true story so you can understand that everybody is different, but we all have the same issues and we're no different than anybody else. Yes, we are live streamers. We have fun. We have a persona on here. We kick it. But then when you log off, the bills are still due. When you log off, you still have to go to work. When you log off, you still have family and friends. You have issues, depression, sickness, all of those kind of things. You know what I'm saying? But here's a chance for us to see the human side and being better than before. So now, my quote for the week was, "The world is changed by your example." So if you don't know what that means, everything that we do is an example. Everything. That's one reason, I'll be honest, I didn't want to be a parent. Because to me, being a parent is a huge responsibility. And that meant once I became a parent, none of the stuff that I was doing was for me anymore. I couldn't go out and make stupid decisions. I couldn't go out and just hang out all night long. I couldn't do none of that stuff. I had to think about this little person because this person had to depend on me. They couldn't eat without me. They couldn't get dressed without me. They didn't have anywhere to live without me. So that was one reason that I never really wanted to be a parent, because I thought that's a great responsibility. I have to be example. I can't go out here and be gone for 5 days and then come back and be like, clean your room. Some people do it, but it didn't work for me. So if you're still in here, can you come in and request the box Blasian? Top Badge Blasian. She is my second guest. And we are just talking about being better than before. So let's welcome Blasian to the box. Blasian.
Hi.
Hi, Blasian. How are you?
I'm doing good. How's everybody doing?
I'm doing good. So first off, what we like to do is finally introduce yourself. How long you been on the app? Why do you stream? And do you have any further goals?
Okay, well, I'm Top Badge Blasian. I've been on the app now, a year and a month. Actually, August 12th was my 1 year anniversary. Um, I started over streaming actually on POF. I was on POF and then I moved over to Meet Me Side. I discovered streaming on POF. It's funny because I was actually deleting the app when streaming actually popped up there. Like they had sent me a message, like I think like in December, and I was just like, what is this live thing? I had no idea what it was. And they showed what the little button thing is, but I didn't know. I was like, if I push this thing, what's gonna happen? Like, what does it mean live? Am I gonna like pop up? So actually, I had just gotten divorced, 2019. I got divorced, and it was 2020 when I was just like, all right, it's like, I started dating again, but I mean, the dating scene out here just was horrible. And I said, you know what, forget it. I'm done. I can't do it. So I was deleting the app, but at that time they added a different feature where the profiles now popped up at the top or whatever. And it said date me or this and that. So I was like, what is that? And I touched this guy. I was like, oh, he fine. I said, I touched this profile. And when I touched that profile, I popped up in this room and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Hold on. What is this? And then he looked down at me and he was like, Blasian. And I was just like, he sees me? Like, it freaked me out, right? But then I hung out with him for a little while and they were like, where are you on? And there was like telling on all these other apps. And so I found out Meet Me was the better choice or whatever. So I was there. I streamed from there from February 2020 all the way up until I would say August, September of last year. That's kind of like had the whole transition. I don't know. When I first started streaming, I was trying to figure out what my purpose was with the whole streaming thing. Pandemic had hit. I was being socially isolated. I was an extrovert, now turned introvert mostly now. But it actually saved me because I went into a big depression because traveling is like my outlet, and I got stuck in the house and I was just like, ugh. And I had this child, she was getting on my nerves. I was like a job and being isolated from everybody. And I was just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna do. So I had to look at it and say, okay, like if I'm gonna be doing this, like what is my purpose of doing this? Right. And as I
Mm-hmm.
was going around to people's streams and I was like listening to folks, I realized that there was a lot of mental health stuff going on. Like there was a lot of relationship issues. There's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people that have issues with their kids. There are people going through financial stuff. There was like so much. So I was like, you know what? Let's address some of these things. Everybody's on here now. Y'all ain't got nothing to do. Let's talk about it. So I started having big topic streams on my live stream, and that's what I was known for on Meet Me. It was just every day, what's topic. And when I tell you, my stream used to run for hours nonstop. I would have box parties. I would literally roll over and go to sleep. I'm serious. I'm like, y'all, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I need to go to bed. And they'll still be talking. All right, fine. I put my bonnet on and I literally would roll over, turn around at 6:30, and they're still sitting there talking. But there was a need for it. And that people, I guess a lot of people didn't realize it, but there's been so many people that have been helped through whether it's like custody issues or their kids, because my live
Mm-hmm.
stream is full of social workers, people that work for the Attorney General's office, paralegals, people that's involved in all these different aspects, social workers. So a lot of people had a lot of different revenues they could go to get the help and assistance they needed. And that's what I really appreciate about the app was men and women coming together to discuss real life issues, because I wanted people when they left my live stream, they actually left with something that added value to their life. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not, I didn't want to be one of those people that just sat there and just like, I don't smoke, but just sitting there drinking and talking crap or whatever. But I wanted it to where people had a safe place where they can express themselves. And, they're not going to be
Mm-hmm.
judged. You know what I'm saying? Where they're not going to be judged, and they will take something away that can help them. And I think what I really enjoyed was the feedback and the testimonies that came back from people. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what, this is what my purpose is going to be. I was over there for a while, and as we know, there's always mess everywhere and people, um, see, and it was just draining. It was draining. It just wasn't the same anymore. I just couldn't stand going around and
Mm-hmm.
hearing all the nonsense. So I was like, came over here on Tag on accident. POF had shut down. POF had shut down for 2 days, and people over there act like they couldn't not stream for 2 days, and they're like, "Let's go to Tag." I was like, "Wait, what? No." So no, come on, let's go to Tag. I said, "Okay." Came over here, saw Ebsy live, jumped in her live, and then all of a sudden, I got triggered, and I started swiping, and I was having so much fun. So I was like, all right, was around here for a couple weeks. And then I was like, let me go live. Let me see what the tag is about. Came live, started streaming, 200K first live. I was like, what? And then I got my million the first week. And then it was like milli weeks. Then it went to 2 to 3 milli weeks. Then it went to 3 to 5 milli weeks. And then I got my top badge in 2.5 months. And from what I was told, I think I was the fastest person to get their badge on the app. So but ever since then it's just been, I've met a lot of great people, and I just appreciate so I don't know, I'm not, I won't say I know exactly where this is gonna take me, but we'll see. I'm enjoying the process though.
Okay. Well, I always do these little icebreaker questions so we can kind of get to know a little about our personality of our streamers. Let me start with this one. Would you rather never watch another TV show or movie again, or never use social media again?
um I think I honestly, I think I don't really watch TV that much anymore now, so, but social media has changed so much, but it is the future of our world, and my daughter is a part of that. So I would probably go without TV because I need to be monitoring what my child's doing on social media.
I know that's right. I know. I was one of those parents. My son didn't even he got Instagram when he was 16, and he didn't get Facebook until he was 18. He was not allowed to be on any of it
Mm.
until he was those ages. So, um, would you rather have lunch made for you every single day and you never get to choose what it is, or be able to choose your lunch every day but have to make it yourself?
Um, I probably make it myself because I know it's gonna be seasoned right.
Okay.
I can't eat everybody's food. Not everybody can cook now. You know what I'm saying? And I know what I like. At least I know. At least I know what I'm getting. At least I know what I'm.
Right? Yeah, you know,
I
because you're
enjoy
making
cooking,
it.
so yeah.
And this is my last one. I asked this one last week and I just love it. So I think I'm gonna ask this one every week. If we were in the zombie apocalypse and we're out here killing zombies, like we out here murdering them, and in your AirPod, what song is playing?
Oh, that's a good one. Um, mm, what's in my ear? I don't know. I don't know why the first thing that pops in my mind is "Eye of a Tiger." I don't, I don't know. I don't know why that just popped in my head.
Well, for me, it would be Tupac. And it would be the song that he did, the diss track against Biggie. That would probably be the one that I would play. All right, guys, if you're just not joining in, this is Better Than Before with the baddest BBW each and every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My special guest right now is Blasian, top badge. Before that, I had K Sweetness. So the world is changed by your example, and we're here to tell our stories as streamers of something that made us bigger and better than before. So can you go ahead and tell us a little bit about your story, Blasian?
So I was, I found out from you what it was, and I did kind of think, but I really didn't. I just really couldn't really pinpoint anything really specific because I feel like everything that's happened in my life has molded me to who I am today. Um, and I've been through a lot. Okay, I've been through a lot. Um, and I was listening to Kay talk earlier about molestation. I went through that 5 years old. And everybody knows I'm half Jamaican, and it was my uncle living in the house with us. On my grandmother took care of me or whatever, and so I went through that. I went through a lot. I don't think I had a normal childhood. I think I had to grow up a
Mm-hmm.
lot quicker than I wanted to. I didn't have like a lot of the exposure to a lot of different things a lot of kids had growing up. Because my story is a little unique. You know what I'm saying? My dad was military. My mom's from Korea, and I wasn't really raised by either one of them. My grandmother raised me. So I went through a lot of bouncing from house to house. So between my dad, my stepmom, and my mom and my grandma, I really didn't really have too much of a stable environment. And then growing up military too, we bounced around all the time. So I don't think I really
Mm-hmm.
stayed too much in one area. But I want to say, like, through everything that I went through, whether it be molestation, whether it been child abuse from my stepmother, or just having to grow up and being exposed and having issues with like my trust with men and all of that, like I feel like a lot of that made me angry, right? Because I was like, here I am. I'm the oldest of these little boys that I had to watch. I was forced to always have to watch kids and this and that. And I was just like, man, I never got to have myself. I never got to grow up and have a normal childhood. And I was angry. Y'all see me now. You would have never like you would have not recognized me years ago, because I was that, like, if you looked at me, I'm looking at you like, what the F are you looking at and what you want? I was always checking people like you just couldn't do this or whatever. I was that angry black woman that a lot of people looked at. But um I think what it was that really, really changed me was because everyone knows I'm a nurse. And there was a time
Mm-hmm.
where I went to render aid to someone. Sorry. I went to render aid to a hit and run victim in the middle of the road. And while I was rendering aid to her, another car came and ran her over and hit me and threw me 3 lanes over. And at that time, I was like, I was put in a place to where my mobility was limited, my activity was limited, my memory was like shot to hell. Like I couldn't remember like things that I just did a few minutes prior, right? So I had to go through, because I suffer from like traumatic brain injury, which is called TBI, and I had a lot of like injuries. So for 3 months, I pretty much was in a place, because again, I like to move around, I like to go, but 3 months I was in a place where I couldn't go anywhere. So I felt isolated again. And during those 3 months, I really had to sit back and reevaluate my life, right? I had no choice, but I had to think back, and I was just like, I realized, why am I so angry? Why am I so angry? Why do I feel this way? But I learned during that time that life was too short. Unfortunately, the girl that I did render aid to, she lived a couple more months, then she passed away, and she just had a little girl, and she was, her marriage and this and that. So it was like, I had to sit here and think about it. I have a child too. So now I gotta live for her. So I had to sit back and think, what are you so angry about? Why are you so mad all the time? And then I learned how to pick my battles at that point. I let go a lot of things. And I think the best thing for me at that moment was learning how to forgive. Forgiveness for me helped break a lot of the generational curses that I had. It helped break a lot of the strongholds that I had on my life, because those were the things that were holding me down or holding me back and was making me the way that I was. And once I learned how to forgive people for the things that they did to me, like I felt like I was like released, right? So at that moment, I started looking at life, and I was just like, I wasn't snappy anymore. I wasn't saying a lot of things that I was saying. I was more easygoing. I was more humble. I was more calm, because I'm like, this car literally hit me going at least 50 miles an hour. And I lived from that. And I also look, I grew up in the church too. And I look at it as the Lord, like giving me a second chance, and I took that, and I was just like, and I feel healthy. I feel healthier now. I don't feel all depressed. I don't feel all down. I don't feel all angry. All those things, keep those things trapped in you. Like they do. They drag you down. They drag you down. And I've just been more open and more accepting and this and that. So I don't know. I feel like that accident was probably one of the things that really changed my outlook on life and made me realize, I have one life to live. So now I need to make the best of it,
But yeah, a lot of for me, I've had a lot of times where I really shouldn't be here. I shouldn't even be here on live. I've been shot. I've had car accidents. I've had blood clots. I had COVID. I was on a ventilator. They told me I shouldn't have made it. They have no idea why I'm even alive. Like I defied all the odds. All the things that happened to everybody, it didn't happen to me. But it's like what you said. Sometimes I feel like if God doesn't give us something detrimental, then we are not going to appreciate or do what we're really supposed to do. Because sometimes he tells us to do this and we're like, no, I'm having fun. No, I'm complacent. No, I'm comfortable where I am. I'm not changing nothing. And then he abruptly moves us or do something to us where we have no choice. Yeah. There is no choice. Either you're going to go up or you're going to sit here and waddle in something that you have no control over. Right. That's your two choices. And I definitely understand where you're coming from when you were saying the months being in here, because a lot of people, some people know my story and some don't. But I did get COVID. And I unfortunately had to get my foot amputated because it was killing me. The COVID gave me a flesh-eating bacteria, and I had 10 minutes to make a decision. It was either you gonna get it cut off or you're gonna die. That's the only two choices I had. So me being me, I was just like, well, we're gonna have to do what we gotta do.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't want to die. So, I mean, we're just gonna have to pick up and do what we gotta do. So I understand what you're saying. Like I hadn't before June, I haven't been able to walk since November. November of last year was the last time I walked when I walked into the emergency room. And then in June, I got my prosthetic and I've been walking like I never missed a beat. And they are so inspired by me. They tell the patients by me because there are people that give up hope when they lose limbs or they just, the hell with it, And me, they gave it to me and I got up and I just had the will. I don't want anybody to do nothing for me until I can't. When I absolutely can't do anything, then yes, you can come and have the nurses and all of that. But until then, I'm determined to do everything on my own.
Ooh, I would have loved you as a patient, okay? Because I used to work.
Oh, they loved me. You know how they turn you green? I was green like the first day in rehab. They're like, you don't even need us. Like, what are we even here for? And I'm like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I had that will. Everybody don't have that will. Everybody don't have that drive or that courage. So sometimes things like your story, my story, the story about, being molested and stuff may give somebody the courage and the strength to do what they need to do or to help others in the same situation.
And that's
so
what I always say though. When I said it doesn't matter what situation you go through, you can always pull a positive out of it. And the positive is you went through it, you experienced it. Now you can put yourself into a place where you can help somebody else that's going through that. Because they may not they don't even know where to start, but because we've been through it, we understand it, we know the process, maybe something that we said or something that we did to get through it can help them get through that too, because now we can advocate for them. And that's what I look at. Everything happens for a reason. And that's and you can always pull a positive out of any situation that you go through.
And I definitely feel that. I feel like, to me, live is my inspiration to other people. Yeah, I have fun, we laugh, we goofy, but somebody clicked on your live today, Blasian, and decided not to kill themselves. Somebody clicked on your live today and you got them to laugh and they like, you know what, maybe I should, give my 2 weeks notice. I'm tired of this job. Maybe I should start my own business. You know what I'm saying? This avenue here is an outlet for a lot of things. And I've always said since I came on here, something wrong with everybody on here.
Something wrong with everybody. Yes,
because for you to tune into a live stream and feed off of people that you ain't never seen, strange people looking at you, talking to you, there's something missing somewhere that you're yearning for. So this is a way to connect to those people. So nobody's out living these wonderful lives. That's the whole purpose of the show. This is better than before. We don't want to give that aspect that we all got money, we all black VIPs, we throwing, everybody has their own situation and what they got going on in their life. We're real people with real problems, Right. And your story right there, I really identify with it because a lot of people don't know, like you sitting at home and can't do anything for yourself. It's very heartbreaking. Mm-hmm. The simplest things we take for granted, I found out when this happened to me. Like going to the bathroom is like the most. I was appalled when they tried to give me a bedside commode. I was like, how dare you? Do you know who I am? Like, what is this? So my determination was, I'm going to get up and walk because I don't want nobody to come wipe my ass. I don't want nobody to watch me use the bathroom. So I'm going to figure it out. If I got to crawl, I'm going to do it myself. So I want to also just kind of give you guys something. I had looked online because I was watching. I don't know if you guys know they've been doing a documentary about Kobe Bryant and kind of what happened and what led to his untimely death, him and his daughter and all the people on the plane. And then they had did a little interview with Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan, we all know he's a big star. He sells hundreds and millions of shoes. Like he's the greatest of all time. But what people don't know that he said he missed more than 9,000 shots in his career. He lost 300 games. On 26 occasions, he was entrusted to take the game-winning shot and missed every last one of them. He's failed over and over again in his life, and that is why he succeeds. A lot of people don't know this, but he was kicked off the basketball team in high school. Michael Jordan. It's a lot of stories where people were told they can't. Steven Spielberg, they told him that he will never be a filmmaker.
But
he will never make it.
Failure pushes some people to look at, reevaluate, and actually see what changes they can make to help build themselves. I feel like failure is just a great thing. If we succeed in everything, what would it really show us? I don't know.
It would never challenge you. You would always think you're perfect. I don't have to put in any effort if I win at everything I do. You wouldn't even appreciate the things that you get.
Right.
Because you get it so easily. So, sometimes you have to keep doing it till you get it right. Heck, I was reading Walt Disney. They told him he had no imagination. Walt Disney. It's all the naysayers. Sometimes that gives people the drive. But guys, I want you to take a second here. We're gonna ask some things of Blasian here. So Blasian, when do you stream? What do you have coming up? Is there any days or topics or anything that you got going on?
Well, I have been thinking about it. I do need to get more of a streamer's I know a streamer schedule, because my daughter is getting started school back up and her activities are going to consume me, and I didn't realize how strenuous it was going to be last year. So I do host a show on my live stream every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's called Tags Rising Star. It's a show where there's 5 of us coaches of seasoned top badges and VIPs that have taken new streamers that have somewhat no prior experience, but we help use our talent to help build their talent. So we give them tips and tricks and, kind of guide them along the way to try to help them maneuver around here on the app. It's three episodes in right now, but we give them challenges each week. They got to come back the next week, kind of make sure they met their qualifications or whatever. And then we discuss different things about the app. And we've had Number One Stunner on there. We've had Reek and Vic on there. It has been very successful so far. Halfway through the season, though, we're going to start eliminating them. So based off whether or not we see if they've taken what we've taught them or told them and applied it, if their growth, how much we've seen it they're actually putting into it. Based on that, we start eliminating folks. So if we feel like they're not doing the things that, that's going to make them more successful, we'll let them go. So finally, I'll get down to 2 streamers. And then those 2 streamers will then battle it out at the end in a versus style support battle to see who's going to be tagged, Tag's next Rising Star. I have some other things in the making that I'm thinking about. But other than that, I just stream kind of random. But there's going to be some things that are going to, give men a voice, and there's going to be some things that are going to give women a voice, and that's how I'm just going to leave that. So.
Okay. I'm very interested now. I'm really interested in what you have to come, and I like that Rising Star. I should have been on that show a long time ago because I done got so many people badges and featured shows, and I'm just sitting over here like whatever.
Well, I think it was inspired by someone who came on the app. I guess went through the motions and saw their money just kind of dwindling away, and all of us went through that, right? All of us kind of went through that. We had the experience. we didn't have anybody tell us what to do. We were like, what is this? And we just got caught up, made a whole lot of mistakes. So, I mean, since all of us had that, the rest of us that came together, just put our heads together and just came up with a great concept. And so far, it's just been a really, really, really good, successful show so far.
Yeah, I wish I would have known, because I didn't find out to level 68. I had no idea about none of this. I got to level 68 and they was like, look at your board. And I was like, my God, what have I been doing? Yeah, I was already way beyond help by the time I figured it out. But it's okay. I got it now. We ain't going back. We ain't got it. But I appreciate your story. Was really inspiring. And anybody that's still here, I just want to make sure you fave Blasian. Make sure you fave K Sweetness. It's the realness that I appreciate you guys coming on here and telling your story, because somebody here might be looking or listening and they're afraid to move forward or change something to be better, and this might have just inspired them to be better than before. So I definitely appreciate that. This is each and every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will have guests on some shows, and some shows will be open forum. I welcome any content or anything that you would like for me to discuss. Definitely hit me up and we can come to agreement and we can discuss some things, because I think we can really help people and still have fun at the same time. So I do appreciate you so much, Blasian, for joining. I appreciate everybody that came in tonight. We appreciate you guys, and thank you so much, being better than before. You guys have a great night.